I feel like we should be singing "Hooray for Hollywood."
Yeah. Well, I love what you did with those two big lights in front of your house that are crossing.
Spotlight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is our annual Oscar show. We've got our annual Oscar expert, Eric Litt, on the line.
He's an Oscar savant.
He is.
Oscavant.
And we'll be talking to him about this year's Oscars, which will be coming up this weekend on television. And we'll find out before anyone else does who's going to win those categories, because it's time for Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is the Minutia Men Celebrity Interview with Rick and Dave.
Eric, I'm envisioning you in one of those 1950s offices now with a big cigar, you know, with the big starlets next to you.
See, I've got it. In my mind, he's in a white tuxedo.
Okay.
He's standing on a red carpet next to a woman who's got like a very long gown that goes all the way to the carpet.
That's 35 years younger than he is, perhaps.
Yeah, like a 25-year-old
starlet.
Yeah, and he's also smoking a big cigar.
Okay, well,
are we right?
Oh wow. Well, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because I'm going to be dreaming of that all evening.
Right. Yeah. Ixnay on the wife. Okay. Don't mention that to your wife.
So we should introduce Eric a little better. Eric is the author of a great book called Oscar's Biggest Mistakes. He's got another book coming out. Well, maybe we'll talk about that later in the show, or maybe even in a whole different show. We'll bring him back for that. But last year and the year before, we had him on to do his Oscar picks. 2 years ago, perfect. Yeah, you missed one last year, didn't you? Yeah. You stooped a couple of them last year, didn't you? I don't know, Eric.
Yeah, what happened last year?
It's bounce back season.
Yeah, last year I missed a couple.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Nobody's perfect. But I think I'm going to do much better this year because I think it's a little bit more cut and dry this year.
Okay.
All right.
Well, just do what politicians do and just blame somebody else for your mistakes.
Yeah. All right. You want to just start, Dave, you want to do the first category here?
All right. Actress in a supporting role. And our nominees are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. What say you, Eric? Who's going to take home the statue?
This one is really easy to call. It's going to be Divine Joy Randolph. She's going to win from The Holdover. She has won everything so far, and she deserves it. The other actresses, Emily Blunt, I think she was just fine in Oppenheimer. You know, she plays a lot of the same characters in many of her movies. She always plays sort of like a somber, cranky woman. And aside from a speech towards the end of the movie, I don't think she really had as much to do. But so I don't think she's not going to win.
I saw that movie too. It was not really a three-dimensional character, I don't think.
No, and she's played that role. She can play downtrodden in her sleep. Right. Danielle Brooks was really probably the best. She was not going to win either. She was probably the best thing in The Color Purple. I watched it recently, and quite honestly, I found it kind of meh. I recommend sitting through the 1985 film with Whoopi instead. I like musicals, but The Color Purple I don't think warranted a musical, and I didn't particularly care for the film. America Ferrera was a surprise nomination, also with The Big Speech, which I think why she was partly nominated for Barbie. She's a fine actress, and I think she's been getting a lot of good work lately, but you might remember her from Ugly Betty, but I think her nomination being included in Margot Robbie not getting a nomination in the lead character category is a head scratcher to me. And Jodie Foster is I like Jodie Foster a lot in Nyad. I wish Jodie Foster would work more. She's very choosy in her projects, but she has been seen a lot more lately. Sorry about my dog. She just finished. I just finished watching her in True Detective, and if you want to watch 6 hours of miserable, cranky people in Alaska, I highly recommend you sit through True Detective Night Country on HBO Max, because she was easily the best thing in it. She's not going to win either. It's going to be Divine Joyce Randolph, and if you don't recall her, oh crap, my dog again.
He's a big Jodie Foster
squirrels.
fan too.
It's when there's squirrels outside my window. But she was, the last time I saw her was in Dolomite Is My Name, and she was dynamite in that as well. But Divine Joy Randolph, she's going to win, and I don't think, and if you put anybody else down besides her, you're not going to win your Oscar pool.
All right, so this is a guarantee. This is as close to a guarantee that I've ever heard.
I think it's about as close as a guarantee as possible.
All
right, let's find out what happens here in the actor in a supporting role. We've got the nominees are Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, a little-known actor named Robert De Niro.
He's short, too, isn't he? So he's a little-known actor.
Killers of the Flower Moon. We've got Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. Wow, those are some pretty big names there in the actor in a supporting role category.
Yeah, it's a good category. Robert De Niro is as good as usual. You know, I was working in his comfort zone with Scorsese. Sterling K. Brown from American Fiction. He already went on record knowing he's not going to win. He was the surprise nomination. Mark Ruffalo was terrific as a socialite who takes advantage of Bella, Emma Stone's character, but I think Willem Dafoe should have been in this category as well, and it was even better. And Ryan Gosling, he seemed to be having just an absolute blast playing Ken, and I enjoyed his performance very much because it was so out of character for him. But this is about as much of a slam dunk as you're going to get. Like last year with Ke Huy Quan, Robert Downey Jr. has won everything so far, and he's the clear favorite. I expect him to win. He'd probably be my choice too. I liked all the other performances as well, but this is going to be Iron Man's year. If you don't put Robert Downey Jr. down, again, just like Joyce Randolph, you're not going to win. Iron Man's going to win supporting actor, and that's I feel 100% about that.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the movie. It's like after 30 seconds, you forgot that it was Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but I feel so bad for Ryan Gosling because the guy's got nothing going for him.
Yeah, I know.
You know. I mean, the guy can't get a break.
He's got no talent. He's ugly.
He's ugly. Yeah, man, I really
dour.
Wanted the underdog to really get it.
Oh well.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is no underdog. So, actress in a leading role. Okay, Annette Bening, of course, no stranger to nominations in Naiad. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall. Carey Mulligan, Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. What say you?
That one is going to be a coin flip, I think. Yeah, that one's... I would say this is a coin flip between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. First of all, I got to give some props. I feel so bad for Annette Bening because Annette Bening has been nominated quite a bit. I think this is at least her fifth nomination, and every year she's nominated, she always there's like she has no chance of winning, or if she is the favorite, another performance comes by and just knocks her out. And she always has the worst luck. And twice it happened with her against Hilary Swank. And this time it's going to happen with either Emma Stone or Lily Gladstone. For a while I was thinking it was going to be Emma Stone. And she was absolutely the reason to see Poor Things. She is amazing, absolutely amazing. One of the best performances I've seen by a female actress in years. And for a while, I thought she was going to win. I don't think so anymore. I think because Lily Gladstone just won the SAG Award, which is probably the best precursor for the acting awards because it's voted by actors. A lot of the people that are in that category that are voting are also in the Academy. So I think it's going to be Lily Gladstone this year.
So your dog agrees?
Yeah. Dog's right.
Yeah. Taj agrees too. So sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I'm just going to try and record this in my basement, but I don't get good cell phone service in my basement. But I think she's going to win. The other ones in the category were just as great. I mean, Carey Mulligan was fantastic. and so was
Sandra Hüller.
Sandra Hüller, who is also nominated, who was also appeared in two of the Best Picture nominees, as well as Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall. And who's the fifth one?
I was Emma Stone, Carey Mulligan,
And Annette Bening, who you already mentioned.
And Annette Bening, yeah.
Okay, so your money's on Lily Gladstone.
Yeah, that's a coin flip, though. I wouldn't bet the farm on that, but
Okay.
that's who
But
I
gun
think.
to your head, you're gonna pick that one. You're gonna pick Lily Gladstone.
Gun to my head, I'm gonna say it's Lily Gladstone. If I had my choice, it would be Emma Stone, but I think Lily's gonna win. And
Did you see Flowers, Killers of the Flower Moon?
I did see it. I saw it actually in the theater, and it was my favorite film of the year.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
This Scorsese kid could turn into something. I think we got to keep an eye on him. All right, I've got actor in a leading role as the next category here, and another pretty good group of actors here. We've got Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers. Is it Cillian Murphy?
It's Killian.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy, yeah.
For Oppenheimer. I call him Peaky Blinders guy. And also Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Those are your 5 nominees for actor in a leading role. What say you?
Okay, let's say me. Coleman Domingo, Bradley Cooper, and Jeffrey Wright are not going to win. This is between 2 actors, and it's between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti. And try to keep them out as long as possible. Between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti, for a while I thought it was going to be Paul Giamatti. He was on a good hot streak for a while, and the whole him going on a date with his Golden Globe to In-N-Out Burger I thought was fabulous.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I'd like to see more than him go back there with Oscar in hand to have another cheeseburger.
Yeah, but is he going to go to a Steak and Shake maybe this time, or is he going to stay with the In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah, it could be Jack in the Box. Could be Culver's. It could be all kinds of stuff. But Cillian Murphy, I think, is going to win. He just won the SAG Award. I think he's going to ride the Oppenheimer wave. This could go either way. Paul Giamatti is very well liked. He's very well respected. He's been overlooked a lot, but I think Cillian Murphy he's been on quite a roll lately, and I think he's going to win. I think he's going to ride the whole Oppenheimer wave, and he was good too. If he wins, I can't fault it. I just finished watching all of Peaky Blinders, and he was fantastic in that. So I've become a really big fan of his.
Yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
He is. He's really good.
Okay.
He's been good for a long time.
Let's talk music, Eric. Okay, the original song.
Do we have to?
We don't.
No, let's talk music.
You pick these categories, man. This is your categories.
I did. And the reason I picked this category initially and included in my Oscar book is because this category drives me nuts every single year. And this year is kind of no exception. The 5 songs nominated, I don't think I really like any of them. I think 4 of them stink. That Cheeto song is awful. The John Batiste song is boring. The Killer of the Flower Moon song has some importance and some beauty, but it's not really my thing. I think there's better choices. And the 2 best songs in the category are the 2 from Barbie, and one of them's a novelty song, which is "I'm Just Ken," which Ryan Gosling's going to sing at the show. And the other one's from Billie Eilish.
Good, he's getting a break then. I'm glad that he's getting a little exposure.
Finally.
Right. And the other one is from Billie Eilish, who, and it's a nice song. I mean, it's the best of the bunch, and she's gonna win. She's the favorite. She's gonna win. She's gonna be there singing. And I'm sure she'll be there. I'm curious to see what she's gonna be wearing. I don't know if she's gonna be showing up in her Barbie baseball jacket again, and her colored hair, but I expect. she'll be having some kind of a fashion statement there. But it's a cute. It's not a bad song. So it's the favorite. I think she's going to win. And I don't think any of the other ones have a chance.
Oh,
okay. Wow, that's very definitive.
Here's you with the cigar again.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, kids, get out of
Yeah,
my way.
I'll call you. I'll call you.
It's
Showtime.
Yeah.
All right. The last category here is Best Picture, and there are 75 nominees.
Right. Yeah.
The nominees are American Fiction.
3 of them are foreign films, too.
Yeah, that's right. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've heard of 4 of these, probably.
I have seen 3 of them.
Yeah, I've seen
4 of them. So what do you think, Eric? Is this even worth discussing? Do we know what's going to win here?
I think we know it's going to win. And, last year, the Academy filled up this category with movies that people have actually seen.
Yeah.
Such as Elvis, Avatar, Way of the Water, Top Gun, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This year, not so much. You got Barbie, Oppenheimer, and The Pips. Not a whole lot else out there people have seen. You have 3 foreign language films in this category, for Pete's sake. If it wasn't for Barbieheimer, you got a lot of nothing, because I know very few people that saw Zone of Interest, Anatomy of Fall, and Past Lives.
Right.
Past Lives actually is a terrific, terrific movie. I loved every single minute of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Killers of the Flower Moon was 3.5 hours, a film on Apple TV Plus, and Poor Things is a very polarizing movie. So there's not a lot for the masses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, of the 3, it's basically going to be Oppenheimer. I think that's about it. Sure,
Of the 3, it's going to be Oppenheimer.
It's going to be Oppenheimer. This is how it is. I don't think any other movie has much of a chance. It's the movie that everybody's talking about. It's production wise, it's top notch. Acting wise, the whole cast, the whole thing. It's Oppenheimer's year. It's won every single award so far, and nobody else has a chance. And so it's going to be.
It's not like it doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but here's the problem that I have with Oppenheimer: that the movie should never be longer than the war. Right? I mean, it was like a 73-hour movie, and it's hard for me to sit in those chairs at my age.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, I watched it in the theater, and
how many times did you pee?
It wasn't.
How many times did you have to pee?
I had a couple times. I looked at my watch at least 3 or 4 times. It's a good movie. I liked it. It is extremely well made. It's extremely well done. But as far as the best pictures of the year, I mean, it didn't even crack my top 10. But I thought it was, I thought Killers of the Flower Moon was a better film. I thought it was better produced. I thought it had I was more engaged in the story. The acting was just as good. I just liked that. And that movie was a half hour longer.
Yeah.
But I got into that film a little bit more. In Barbie, I thought was extremely imaginative, very creative. That film could have gone in a completely different direction, more for the masses. It could have been animated. It could have been a really commercial, cutesy thing, but they really turned it into something that I found, quite interesting. And, there's a lot of social messages in there. And, I just thought it was a good film. Very clever, and the production wise, again, with that film was terrific. American Fiction I liked a lot, and so I mean it was just in Holdovers. I don't want to forget The Holdovers. I like The Holdovers more as well. Oppenheimer's going to win, and it was a good film.
The movie to me that I just watched it the other night that I thought was overrated is Maestro. I really thought that was going to be something that whenever there's a film about music, it usually like cuts me deep, and this one didn't at all for some reason. I was fine. I mean, it was a fine movie. Bradley Cooper was good, and it was interesting. It was a good biopic, I guess. But I thought it was going to be a lot better.
That's the reaction I'm getting a lot from people and talking to other people about that film. They all had this kind of the same reaction, very mixed. A lot of people really liked it. I liked it a lot. I think I like the acting and the music more than I actually like the story. But that's the reaction I'm getting. And it's sort of the same reaction I got last year when I was talking to people about Tar. And it's interesting that 2 years in a row we have a film about a conductor getting nominated.
Right.
One being fictionalized and one being, a real character. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong in your assessment. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that.
Okay. Well, Eric, before we let you go, we need to let everybody know you've got another book coming out later this year. What's it called? What's it about?
It is called Worth a Second Look. It is about movies that need another chance. It's films that are underrated, movies that are forgotten, movies that are guilty pleasures. So films that, such as maybe Blowout or Starman, Tucker, A Man in His Dream, films that weren't big hits, but maybe were very well received critically, that didn't make a lot of money, that aren't talked about that much, that really should be checked out. And I compiled movie reviews of probably about 150 to 175 of them, and I put them in a book. And so it's a great book to keep around when you can't think of anything to watch and you need a source. Oh, okay. Well, here's a book that's got a bunch of titles. We haven't seen it. We haven't heard of this movie. Let's just check it out. So just movies that kind of need some help, that a good reference point for people to check things out. And I had to rewatch a whole bunch of films to come down to the movies that I wanted to choose in there. So it took me a while to come up with these titles, but I think people enjoy it.
So I'm assuming you're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders movie with Bert Convy, right? Remember?
I'm sure that's.
I would imagine that's.
I did see that film.
What'd you think of it?
I remember it.
What'd you think of it?
That was a TV movie. Yeah. I did see that. And I think it came out around in the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. But no, it's not to disappoint Bert Convy fans or Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader fans, but it's not in my book. But I will say that Trancers is in my book, which is a real B movie sci-fi film, which they actually even made 4 of them. It's one of those films that kind of gets tossed on the side. If you go to a video store in the 80s, there's like all the shelves and shelves and shelves of all these sci-fi cheesy crap. And Trancers is one of them. It's with Tim Thomerson and Helen Hunt. It actually has a pretty good cast. And I included that one because it's sort of like a guilty pleasure, and the book's got filled with guilty pleasures. That's what the book is about. It's got a lot of guilty pleasures in there, films that were hits back in the day, but people don't really talk about them anymore, and a lot of underrated films that people have never even heard of, that I think people will like. So that's the kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to releasing it in the fall.
You mentioned videos for our listeners out there that aren't aware of what a video rental
for
store
the youngsters.
is. Yeah, it was like Blockbuster or what was it, West Coast Video. I can't tell you how many traffic laws I must have broken to get that thing back by 6 o'clock the next day. Right?
Was it rewound?
Yes, exactly.
Who didn't rewind it?
I remember just losing sleep going, shit, we got to get this movie back by 6 or we're going to get charged $1.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, I used to work in a video store, which is sort of why I wanted to do this, because that's where a lot of these memories are coming from. I worked at a video store called Lincolnwood Video. I worked there for a year and a half. And the boss was a real stickler about getting those movies back in time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I would just have the worst relations with some of these customers because I was forced to charge them the extra $1. And it's
You were that guy too that when they brought up the movies, you'd be like, "Okay,
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're gonna go with that one, okay,
Okay, Popeye with Robin Williams, not my first choice, but go ahead.
If
Right,
that's what you want,
Right, you know,
okay."
right. Did you ever like go to the woman that was like you can do better, sweetie.
You can do better than that. You really want to go with this one?
Yeah,
Right, and
Police
look at the
Academy
back of the
4,
box.
right,
really?
yeah, right. And if the guy is the one who recommended
Yeah.
it, go. Well, they didn't have Tinder then.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, whatever. Go meet
If
somebody.
you see that the cover is still pristine, that means no one has rented it. All right, that's been there forever.
So leave our listeners with one guilty pleasure that they can, if they're to tease the book. What is your number one movie to leave them right now that they should give a second look right now before the book comes out?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know what? One of my favorite guilty pleasures is Foul Play with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
That came out in 1979. That's a movie that was sort of like a mild hit. It probably was a hit. I don't know. For the time, it probably made a lot of money. But it's not a great movie, but it's a fun film. If you watch it today, there's probably some real cringeworthy moments in it that are not really very PC, but I found it a lot of fun. And whenever it's on cable or whatever, I always stop and watch it. And I saw it as a kid, probably when I think it came out in the late 70s, so I was probably like 9 or 10. So there's, at 9 or 10-year-old, you're only allowed to see so much because you can't see anything R-rated anymore. And so I probably went and saw Foul Play about 3 or 4 times. Big Chevy Chase fan back then. Goldie Hawn, cute as a button. So and it's a fun movie. It's kind of like Silver Streak. I don't know if you remember the movie Silver Streak.
Gene Wilder.
The two movies. The two of them are very similar. And so that's an example of a guilty pleasure I have in the book.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of them.
Well, as the book gets closer to publication,
we'll have you on again.
We'll bring you back and we'll discuss it again. But thank you very much, Eric Litt, the author of Oscar's Biggest Mistakes, available at Eckhart's Press right now if you want to buy it. And everybody wrote down your picks. We'll have you back again next year, and we'll either grill you or praise you for your picks.
You're kind of on a short leash.
You are.
After last year's.
We're counting on you.
Yeah. We're looking for a bounce back here. Yeah.
But thanks for being on the show, Eric.
Thank you for having me. Look forward to next time I'm on.
All right.
Buddy.
Take it easy, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There he is. He's our very own Oscar expert. We have other people we need to thank.
Bert Convey.
Thank Bert Convey. We'd like to thank Tony Lasano with Opie Shows. Opie is hippo backwards. Thank you, Tony. We have to thank Ed Silla from the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place, which is radiomisfits.com. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of
Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
John Landecker, reminding you to vote.
John Landecker.